Norman Liss, and the name of the program is The Way to Go. I invite you to join me as we explore places to go and things to do. Today we're exploring the Bruce Museum in Greenwich, Connecticut. A recent discovery of mine. I've known about it for just a little over a year, and I find it one of the most remarkable and interesting museums in this area. We have as our guests today two representatives of the museum. We have Whitney Moore, who is the Director of Development, and Janie Galbreath, who is the President of the museum. And I welcome you both here to The Way to Go.
Thank you.
What's the latest thing? What's the newest development as this changing, new, old museum?
Well said, sir. Probably the word you used before when you said you discovered a remarkable new place is an apt description. It is a remarkable transformation from an old mansion that was given to the town of Greenwich, Connecticut in 1908 and was opened as a museum in 1912, where it was really more or less of a hodgepodge of rooms with a portrait here and an insect there. We now have a literally transformed facility where I have described it, and I hope Janie doesn't object too strongly, as it's as though we had a cocoon for years and we have now a butterfly.
So what is the butterfly like? What are the things that are new about it?
Well, I love the fact that she calls it a butterfly because we're just about ready to really come out of our cocoon, and the butterfly is complete. In fact, last September, we opened up the one half of the museum, which was the art side with a wonderful Impressionist exhibit that was very popular, and we've gone through a black artist exhibit that was fabulous, and a Turkmen exhibit of carpets and jewelry. And now in September, we're really ready to celebrate because the final wing is going to be open, and that's our science wing, which makes us a very unique museum.
Unique in what way?
Well, we're not only an art museum, but we're also a science museum, and we try to see the interconnection of those two parts of life.
Let's step back a little bit to September. The transformation from the mansion to the museum, what was involved with it? What took place?
Last September 1993, we unveiled the rebuilt, renovated, expanded Bruce Museum. It had taken $7.5 million to accomplish this, and we had Mr. Bruce himself arrived via horse and buggy from the grave to help the children unveil the Bruce.
Explain that.
Well, Janie, since you were in charge of that event.
Well, that was a very exciting time from the museum. We, last September, we actually invited all the children in Greenwich, because this is a Greenwich museum, from the different schools to come and actually participate by pulling a ribbon for the ribbon opening. We decided that they were the future of the museum, and so that we would invite them to be the actual ones to open the museum.
And what happened?
Well, we had lots and lots of ribbons in front of the museum, and at 1, 2, 3 go by Mr. Bruce himself, they all came down, and the children led everyone else into the museum. It was an exciting time.
You say by Mr. Bruce himself, and you say he returned from the grave.
Well, he died a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was an interesting process. We really wanted to have the history there, and the problem was that there are no relatives of Robert Bruce who gave us the building, the original building. And we searched high and low for some of those relatives, and there are none left that we know of. So we decided that we would get a local actor, and he actually played Robert Bruce, and
a little bit like
loved it.
Colonel Sanders is today.
Not unlike.
That's right.
Where they brought an actor to play the role in the current commercials.
That's right.
But there are other things new that are happening there. You're talking about the opening of the new environmental exhibit. Let's talk about that. What's involved there?
Well, that is really thrilling because now we're complete. Now we're back to the mission of the museum being both arts and sciences and building the bridge and the bridges that show interconnectedness between the two fields that are so often disparate.
How do you do that?
Well, an example from this past year would be the Birds and Wood exhibition, the art of Eldridge Arnold, which is carved wooden birds that are absolutely beautiful, works of art, but they are also biologically correct. And so that's probably a very good example of how we are both arts and science and showing the bridges between the two. Very few museums do that. We call ourselves a museum of liberal arts.
Now, you have a permanent collection as well as newly created exhibits. You also bring in traveling exhibits from other sources.
All of those things. And
All
in
of
fact,
those things.
our Newman Wilds Gallery, which is a section of the museum now, gallery unto itself, that we always will be showing our own collection, which is very exciting. And of course, that collection is always growing and always expanding. And of course, we're very interested because people in this area seem interested in the Impressionist art. So we try to keep that a specific interest there.
You talked about the amount of money that was required to rebuild the museum. Where did that come from?
Individuals, foundations, and corporations. Nearly 1,000 donors. It's pretty nice. All of whom are listed in the lobby of the museum, whether they gave $10 or more.
The gleam in your eye is because you're very much involved with that aspect of it.
That's right. That's my job, and we're in the process of raising the $2 million that is required to open this new environmental history wing. Thrilled to do so anyway, but we yet have to pay for it. And one of the ways we're hoping is to really involve children in that effort, not as fundraisers, but as friend-raisers. And we're enrolling children in the Leapfrogger campaign. And their job as a leapfrogger is to give out free tickets to their friends, free tickets to the Bruce Museum. And any child that gets 3 other children to the Bruce wins something. And these little pocket pals here are examples of what they win.
I'm just going to put them up here on a little piece of paper and see if we can show them. They're kind of small. But
they are small, but little but loud.
I have to brag about Whitney for a moment. Whitney has just come to us from
who knows where.
Well, knows where, but she has in the last year done an incredible job in the development area, and we are very, very lucky to have her. She has not only gotten this idea created, but also has a wonderful group of children led by a terrific child. Her name is
Janine DeSoma? Or who are you?
No,
Sophie Domingo.
Sophie Domingo, who is going to be heading up this whole program.
I keep hearing you both mentioning children, and that's a very, very important aspect of the museum, isn't it? It's the future, isn't it?
Very much so.
And so you have a lot of programs devoted to children?
Oh, we could go on and on and on.
We have wonderful programs, Saturday programs for workshops of all sorts and music things going on, always something going on at the museum. We have a wonderful thing called our Discovery Boxes, which children can come in and sign these boxes out with their parents and go through and discover different things about fur, feathers, and scales, or crystals or minerals or whatever, bones of different dinosaurs, so that it really, and it walks them through a whole process.
They have children who come in with their parents, school groups, I assume, through. And do you attract school groups from a wide area?
From Fairfield, Connecticut, all the way to Yonkers, New York.
So they come from all over to come in there?
Yes, many people. In fact, I think last year we serviced
15,000 children.
Yes.
Via Bruce Mobile, which goes out to schools, and via school groups coming in. 15,000 children.
In the area that this is viewed, the Bruce Mobile is a very, very popular vehicle. We go into schools in Yonkers, and we go into schools in Riverdale and all over the Westchester area.
When you say going to schools, you take work programs into the schools themselves as well as having them come to you.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And we serviced about, I think it was 10,000 students.
10,000 via Bruce Mobile this year. This year being a short year.
What is the Bruce Mobile?
It is literally a vehicle. into which we put owls and dinosaur bones and things like that, depending on what the program is.
So it's a moving museum.
It's a mini museum.
Mini museum.
That's right.
How do people get the Bruce Mobile to come to their schools? Is there, by calling museum? Is that the way to do it?
Yes.
Typically, a teacher would call.
A teacher would call, and or if a parent is interested, they could always talk to their school about getting this into their program. What they try to do is work the program into whatever they're studying, whether it's about American Indians or if they're studying dinosaurs at that time, they can talk about that, or whether they're talking about related science projects that they have many different programs that they can tie into.
So we'll give the telephone number to call a little later on in the program, and so people will know what number to call for the Bruce Mobile or for further information about the museum.
Wonderful.
So we just alert people to get their pens and pencils handy to do that.
Good.
Let's talk about exhibits, specific exhibits. This fall, there's a fascinating exhibit, and you brought along a book with some illustrations. So why don't we talk about what this exhibit, The Sacred Earth, is all about?
Well, Sacred Earth, September 11th, is about 50 photographs of revered places on the earth, all over the earth, that Courtney Milne, who's traveled around the globe 11 times in order to get these photographs, has on exhibit with us. The Sacred Earth video show that he presents will also be at the Bruce Museum, October 1st, 2nd, opening weekend.
Now, this book that we have here is a book that has been prepared with his photos, and how many of them are you going to have?
Roughly 50.
About 50 of them.
And when we said opening weekend, we talk about another part of the museum opening specially, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so let's talk about this, and let's just open this. I know you've mocked up some of the photos, and first of all, I want to show the book to our audience. This is the cover of the book with a very striking photo on the front of it. Anyway.
Courtney Milne has gone around the world to take these pictures because he really felt that there were places in the world that were very, very important to the cosmic feeling of man, that we are all interconnected, and through these places that...
Sacred, then, is not only in the sense of religion, but sacred being beloved and inspirational and so on.
That's right.
Of course, this photo is one that is very, very well known.
It's of the Sphinx.
Enigmatic Sphinx.
Yes, and what a magical, mystical photograph that is. And I think that's the magic of the exhibition, is that he really captures the moment that makes it a reverential moment.
Well, I have done programs on photography, and I think you just touched on it. Capture the moment, get the right lighting, and of course find the texture and take a lot of pictures to make sure it comes out.
I think if any of your audience is interested in photography, they will want to come and see this exhibit. And then to come, it will be on until November 10th, I believe. And also October 1 and 2 at both 4 in the afternoon on the 1st, at 4 in the afternoon, and then at 8 o'clock at night. And then on the 2nd at 4 o'clock again, we will have Courtney Milne here at the museum, or there at the museum, and he will be talking to us.
We're talking about Easter Island right now, and you've selected this for a reason. And
well, Easter Island, we're not sure why people built those wonderful monuments. I don't think they've really decided at this point, have they? But
what's so interesting to me is that his photograph captures, again, all I can think of is it's almost an eerie, insightful moment that he captures. Probably there are 1,000 billion pictures of Easter Island, but his are very special.
that's a big number. And let's see what else you've marked in here. Certainly well known, the Taj Mahal.
Yes, actually we were marking this one.
well, either one. I think
one.
Look at both of them. The Western Wall, the Wailing Wall, is, of course, a special spot to many of the world.
When did he take these? Over a long period of time?
I believe so. 11 different times around the globe to get them all. So
You
Really?
got me on
couldn't
that.
do it all
That's
in
a lot
one
of
year.
time. And let's move on to the photo of the Taj Mahal.
Well, that is of course, a place of love and dedicated to that. But now people go there all the time, and it is a special place of
These
reverence.
pictures are really exceptional. As I look at these, I realize how much care and how much time has gone into the making of all of these photos. Incredible.
Now, the multimedia show he brings
That's right.
is slides, live narration, natural sounds, and music.
Oh, really?
So the three
Yes.
performances will be very exciting.
Yes, and I understand he is quite humorous in the way he presents it, too. So I think it will be quite exciting to be able to meet Courtney himself. And
Now, here's an interesting one that's marked, and I have to say that this is unknown to me. So why don't you talk about it?
Guilin,
Guilin is an area in China, and I think they're referred to as the Gumdrop Mountains. And I don't really know very much about it. We have to go do our history ourselves on this, but it's just a very magical, mystical place, as you can see, with all those outcroppings of mountains.
the tone of this whole conversation about the sacred earth is just the tone we want with our new exhibition of environmental history and the wing that, by the way, includes discovery drawers. Janie was talking about the discovery boxes that families work with as self-guided tours. In the new wing, at the same time as the Sacred Earth, we have various galleries of minerals and early people's artifacts, and a wigwam, and a marine touch tank, and a huge diorama of a woodland habitat. And all along the way, interactive opportunities, including these discovery drawers, such as my favorite says, on the face of a drawer it says, "There's a bug in my soup." And when you open it up, it has a piece of amber in it with a Jurassic Park experience in the amber.
So the kids can really relate to this.
Exactly.
I do want at this point to remind our audiences that we're talking today about the Bruce Museum, and my guests today are Janie Galbreath, who is the president of the Bruce Museum, and Whitney Moore, who is the director of development. And let's talk now about the future. Where's the museum going? How far ahead are you people planning?
Well, we'd like to be 5-10 years out, but we can't say we're there yet.
Well, actually, we are planning exhibitions at this point 5 to 7 years ahead. There are future plans, which is very exciting for the Bruce. We never were able to do that before. Now we can. Now we know the spaces. Now we know how they work, interact to each other, so that we can really plan things.
You have a great deal more space than you had before.
Doubled the size of the museum.
Double the size.
Doubled the size of the exhibition
space.
Yes.
And for example, we are now able to have the Calder exhibition. Of course, the dates escape me, but
that is going to be in 95, in September of 95.
Thinking way out.
So we're way ahead of that. So we have beautiful exhibitions planning and coming up. But I don't want to confuse
way
anyone
ahead.
because they'll think there's going to be Calder now.
But there's always something going on.
Yes.
And what we might do at this point is just clarify exactly how to get to the museum. It's very simple as far as I'm concerned because the signs are so clear. But
Well, it's straight up 95 going north toward Greenwich. And when you get to the Greenwich line, it says exit 3. And you just follow the signs to the Bruce Museum, which you can see from the highway.
Right.
That's right.
It takes you around and into it, and then it kind of unfolds as you see this magnificent building suddenly facing you. I noticed in the material that museum is not just exhibits and not just children's programs, but you do other things. You have other programs. You have films, for example. Concerts.
Lectures.
We like to think of ourselves as being a lifelong educational opportunity at the museum.
We talk about lifelong learning all the
That's
time.
right, lifelong learning.
And being a thriving cultural center, really, so that the concerts, the music at the Bruce, the lectures. We had a fabulous lecture series this past spring, and it was on 17th century Dutch art. It was sold out in 3 days.
It
But
would seem to me that would be a subject that would have limited appeal, and
We thought too.
we had standing room only. In fact, ended up having a videotaping of it and setting up chairs in another gallery.
Really?
Really for the overflow.
that seems to say something to us. That seems to say to us, don't underestimate the taste of the public.
That's right. It really was a surprise to us.
And so having said that, how do you estimate the taste of the public? How do you determine what you're going to do? You're surprised when you come up with something which you think is going to be a limited audience and sells out in 3 days. So
Well, you listen a lot, for one thing, but we did get clues from that experience. Number one, these were world-class authorities. And when you have a very literate population, such as in the Fairchester region, they recognize that and they come to that. So I would say it's fair to describe the Bruce as top quality in an intimate setting. And that we know works. When we offer the quality, they come.
Intimate setting, I'll just get back to you in a minute, Janie. When we talk about intimate setting, I find that I like small museums better than large museums. When I go to the Metropolitan, unless I say to myself, I'm going to a small museum and I'm only going to spend an hour and a half here, and I'm just going to see 3 rooms, because otherwise you want to take everything. And if you go to the Louvre, for example, and you want to grab it all in, you end up by seeing nothing. Mm-hmm. But small museums like the Hudson River Museum in Yonkers or Katona Museum, which are small museums, they are great because, and of course, Bruce, where you can go and see so much. And so diverse. That's another
Diversity
feeling
is
that I
a nice.
have. I'm amazed at the diversity of the exhibits that I've seen at Bruce.
And that's only half open.
And it's only half open. I think you're going to be really surprised when you see how the interconnectedness is now being handled at the Bruce now that the
What kind of feedback do you get? We talk to people. What kind of feedback do you get?
A lot along the lines you just mentioned, that it is not intimidating to the first-time museum goer. And we're very happy with the work we're doing with low-income inner-city children whose families are somewhat reluctant to come to the museum, but through their children's involvement have done so. And we're making some real inroads and some real differences through the Neighborhood Collaborative Program. There's a number of really neat stories. My favorite is JoJo. Dr. Rivas from Carver Center in Portchester tells us about JoJo, who apparently had been exasperating his teachers for years, came to the Bruce, and I don't know whether it was a beak or a tusk or a tooth or something, but Dr. Rivas said JoJo went vertical, and now he won't leave his teachers alone. We're very happy to make that kind of a difference for a child.
You reach them through something.
The real thing, the chief's blanket that the chief really wore. The rock that wiggles captivates people.
What is the rock that wiggles?
We have a rock that wiggles.
It bends, and you wouldn't believe it's rock. You would think it's plastic or something, but it's rock. It's sandstone. Mm-hmm. Seeing is believing kind of experience.
Yeah, I just want to dwell on the subject of feedback. Do you ask people for reaction? How does one learn what people want and what they're responding to, aside from the occasional person who'll say, that was wonderful?
Well, if you were a teacher using the Bruce Mobile, you would be asked more than you want to be asked, how you feel. Anybody who accesses us in any way gets their brain picked. We listen a lot. We can't do it unless we listen. And footsteps tell us a lot, too. The music at the Bruce is working very well.
I don't understand what you mean by footsteps.
Well, how many people show up? You can tell that the Bruce Mobile is working because we could use a whole other Bruce Mobile.
Okay. The volume. Mm-hmm. The work, of course, and you're involved. You've been a volunteer there for a long time, and just recently in June became president.
Yes, I did.
Why do you volunteer? What do you get from it?
Somebody once said, and I don't know who they said it, that you make a living by the work you do, but you make a life by how you volunteer. And I feel that the Bruce Museum has helped me expand my life in many, many different directions, and that's why I'm there volunteering. I started off actually working there
Really?
as in the shop, and ended up somehow realizing that the Bruce Museum needed to be larger, and got involved with the fundraising campaign, and from that my involvement grew and grew and grew until here I am today. It's a big job, but I have wonderful, wonderful board. I have a wonderful board, and I also have a beautiful staff, a very dedicated staff of people. So we're moving ahead, and this is a very exciting time for the Bruce with our new wing and our whole new museum, but now our whole new wing this September is, actually October 1 and 2, it's just going to be fabulous.
It's great.
We can service so many more people than we could before.
And this, I think, would be a very appropriate time to give the telephone number where people can get more information. So decide which of you is going to tell it.
You know it,
Okay.
not your own home phone number.
203-869-0376 is the phone number.
And that's the phone for information about the Bruce Mobile,
That's right.
and for the hours of the museum's
That's
open,
right.
and details on how
That's
to
right.
get there. Why don't you repeat that, Janie?
The number is 203-869-0376.
And we're going to put that up on the screen in the closing
Wonderful.
credits, so in case anybody missed it, we can get it again. So let's talk about where we're going and what's going to happen. We've had a great summer exhibit. We've got great fall exhibits, and
The Arts Festival in October 8th, 9th,
That's right. We'll
where
have that.
65 or so artists come to exhibit there, and those are sold items, so that it's a giant store.
So
That's
this is a participation on a different level.
That's
This
right.
isn't just the exhibits you go see, but there are actual people who are. Is that on the property? Is that outdoors?
It's
that you do that?
adjacent property. Roger Baldwin Park.
Roger Sherman Baldwin Park, which is
Something
along
park.
the water.
And
Right
it's
there.
sponsored by the museum.
That's
and
right.
It's
That's
a
right.
fundraiser as well as, or is it a fundraiser?
It's a friend raiser also.
That's important.
That's
and
right.
You can always use more volunteers, can't
we
you? And
can.
more people who participate.
That's right.
And the International Bazaar might also be of
Yes.
interest, and that's from our store. Our museum store is a wonderful place to shop. But in November, I think early
Yes.
November, there will be an International Bazaar which expands the store beyond the store's walls, and that'll be a fun place to shop.
So there's always something going on. There's always something happening, and it's really a place that is not only changing, but is very, very much alive.
Oh, there is another exhibit we haven't talked about that's going to be
Pretty
going
important
on,
exhibit we keep leaving out here.
And we
We don't mean to leave it out.
for those who love pre-Columbian art,
Meaning
this-
before Christopher Columbus discovered
That's
America.
we have one of the considered by many the finest private collection of pre-Columbian work.
And what I have to tell you on that note is that we have run out of time.
We didn't mean to leave that out.
Well, you didn't leave it out,
Good.
and I thank you both for coming. We've been talking today about the Bruce Museum and its wonderful developments, its wonderful changes, and the wonderful things that are happening there. And I can highly recommend to you, go to the Bruce Museum. You'll love it. I'm Norman Liss. The name of the program is The Way to Go. Until next time at this time, enjoy yourself.